series where we are going to take a look at the history of the North Korean car industry. I strongly advise you not to like, subscribe, and above all else, share this video. Because if this gets out, they're coming after me. Yes.
What the hell?
Korea, one
What?
of the world's
What
most
did I do?
secluded nations in the world. And when we
What did I
talk
do?
about its car industry, it can be rather simply put. There is none. Just kidding. There is a little more to it than you might expect at first, but much of the information about it is either vague or limited. First, a quick overview for those living under a rock the past 10 years. North Korea is the result of the Korean War, which split the peninsula in half. South Korea pursued a more capitalistic approach, whereas North Korea went for a more communistic approach, partially backed by superpowers like China and Russia. North Korea likes to present themselves to the rest of the world as a country that's doing just fine, but the rest of the world knows better. I'm not going into detail here, God forbid that I create a political war in the comment section, but you should know that the average people of North Korea lack a lot of basic goods and services, and that North Korea itself lacks a lot of resources to be well industrialized. And I say this because this also affects the North Korean auto industry. Now that we have that out of the way, the car industry in North Korea is marginal. Sources say that they have the capacity to produce about 40 to 50,000 vehicles per year, but most probably and realistically make only a couple hundred of them instead. To put it into perspective, the average production output of the United States and Japan is around 10 million. But who makes cars in North Korea? There are roughly 5 companies. The first one is Sungri Motor Plant, which makes all and everything, including urban and off-road passenger cars, cargo trucks, almost always based off or rip-offs of foreign cars, usually from Russian or Soviet or Chinese origin. Then you have Pyongyang Motors, which is currently the largest manufacturer. They have the exclusive rights by the government for production, purchase and sale of used cars, if only they could find customers to sell to. Then there is Pyeongsan Auto Works, which mostly makes utility cars based on the Soviet Gaz-69. Next up is Chongjin Bus Works. As the name implies, this company mostly makes public transport buses. And there is Pyongyang Trolleybus Works, which is the same thing as the Chongjin Bus Works. The most interesting one of these 5 companies is Pyongyang Motors. The business started in 2000 as a joint venture with a company of the same name, but from South Korea. This is getting juicy. They have a bunch of sub-brands like Viparam, Beoguji, and Zunma. And I hope I never have to pronounce these names again. Oh, I guess not. Viparam has 3 models. The 1, the 2, and the 1, 2, 3, 4. No. They have models known as the 1, the 2, and the 3. And I'm not making this up. The 1 is based on the Fiat Siena, because of course Fiat sells cars to communist countries wherever they can. I'm looking at you, Fiat 124. The second and
Fiat 124 is a Lada Niva.
Brilliance models.
124 is a Lada.
Company like the Brilliance FSV. Beoguji has a model also named the 1, which is based on the Fiat Doblo, and they conveniently forgot to remove the Fiat badge. The rest of their models are based on Shugwang models, which in their turn are based on models of Ssangyong, a South Korean car company. Starting to become dizzy?
Ssangyong, I thought Korea only owned Kia and Hyundai.
Companies that like to copycat other genuine companies. Well, North Korea copycats the copycats. And this can also be said about the Zunma mark, which has a car, the Zunma, no model name, based on the Ssangyong Chairman, which in their turn is based on an older Mercedes E-Class. You see what's going
baby?
on? Okay, enough of this maze of rebadginess and
Alright,
copycatism. Imagine being a car guy in North Korea. You'd be one of the most unfortunate individuals in the world. For starters, there is a high chance that you don't or never will own a car. And if you do, and you got it through illegal ways, chances are that you get picked up and sent to the electric chair. So, how about becoming a car spotter and trying to snap pictures of exclusive cars? Or any car in North Korea, really. Well, guess what? Taking pictures in the public space is forbidden. And when you get caught doing it, you will get picked up and sent to the electric chair. Okay, but what if I become a car journalist / reviewer for the nation's one and only car company? Sure, come in. But make sure your review is objective and that our cars are excellent. If your opinion is different, wrong, then you will get picked up and, you guessed it, sent to the electric chair. But back to people and cars. It is assumed that out of 1,000 North Koreans, only 11 own a car. I don't have to tell you that if you go on Google Street View or watch a video about North Korea, the streets are mostly empty and many people simply walk, bike, take the bus or a taxi. And the taxis are based on the Chinese BYD F3, and BYD stands for Build Your Dreams, talking about rubbing it in someone's face. And are one way for North Korea to show foreign tourists that they are with the times. But what about the nation's political party and the supreme leader? Well, as you can probably guess, they got themselves covered. Especially Kim Jong-un is known as somewhat of an auto aficionado. He owns a nice collection of high-end luxury and supercars, including an Audi R8, a Range Rover 5.0 supercharged V8, a Rolls-Royce Phantom 8,
Those
and
are
a bunch
expensive.
of Mercedes S600 Pullmans and Maybachs. Now, Mercedes has received some criticism as of why they sell cars to dictators, but even they proclaim that they have no clue as to how the S-classes ended up in North Korea. One story goes that the cars were shipped to China, then transported by a cargo ship that turned off the tracking system for a full 2 weeks. Makes you wonder. And that brings us to the last example for today. Back in 2011, when Kim Jong-il died and had his national funeral took place, you know, with the crying people and all that, the funeral had a long motorcade of cars. One car had the coffin of Kim on its roof. And look closely. You know what?
It's one of ours.
A mid-70s Lincoln Continental.
We built those.
American luxury car. Everything that represents America, a symbol of capitalism, and thoroughly hated by North Korea, is present in this very car.
2 Lincolns.
Let that sink for
How the hell they get those muscle cars in North
symbol
Korea?
of communism is carried by the symbol of capitalism. And I can only wonder how that car, of all cars possible, ended up in North Korea. I mean, who, how, what, why? Does nobody in North Korea notice this? Who came up with this idea? Who did the approval? Did a government official look at Craigslist and thought, oh, hey, that looks good? So many questions and so many unanswered, and will always be with such a secluded place as North Korea. I mean, I can keep going. What the hell is that? Oh, shit! Yeah.
He's in Korea right now again. Wait. I love America, so they can't come here. If they come here, I'll sue their ass. I'll kill them. Because no one can come here and kick my butt because I'm American.